Hello and welcome everybody to the Parent Hour, which is part of the Industry Insights series, which is running all this week as part of National Apprenticeship Week. My name is Amanda Thompson, I'm the MD of Campus Media, and I'm here today with 5 very different organisations from different industries who are going to be sharing their experience and advice with you on how you can best support your young person through what can be quite a daunting decision for their career progress. So before we do that, I just want to touch on why we are here today for this next hour. And really it's for the simple fact that apprenticeships have changed so dramatically over the last 10 years, radically over the last 5 years, and the programmes that are now available across many different industries are huge compared to when I think back to 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and the stigma attached to what an apprenticeship was then through more vocational routes, for example. Well, it's just a far cry from that now. So today's hour is really to inspire you and hopefully your young person to look into apprenticeships as a really great career route and a path that will lead to great career progression for your young person in the future. So enough from me. I'm going to lead straight on now to our first speaker, and I have Catherine from PwC.
Thanks so much, Amanda. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today. I'm Catherine. I'm the Technology Degree Apprenticeships Lead at PwC. And the first thing I'd like to say is that I absolutely love apprenticeships. And at PwC, we really advocate for the apprenticeship route and take on hundreds of apprentices every year. It's a fantastic career path. So you might have heard of PwC or you might not. We're not out there on the supermarket shelves. We are a firm of problem solvers. We are solving business and tech-focused problems for different organisations across the economy and around the whole world. So the people that work for us are solving problems every day, helping our clients to improve the way they run their businesses or their charities or their government. And the kind of problems we solve, lots of them are very, very business focused, but more and more of our problems are caused by technology, maybe a cyber attack, or can be solved using technology, such as unlocking the power of data or looking at new tools and techniques that one of our clients might use. So it's a really exciting, fast, ever-changing company to work for. And at the heart of our company are our people, and our apprentices play a huge role in our staff community. So our apprentices get involved in everything at PwC, from joining our sports clubs and societies, our people networks, getting involved in volunteering, getting involved in faith groups. There's so much that they get involved with, and we really support and care about our apprentices greatly. So we offer lots and lots of different apprenticeship routes because we recognise that there's no one pathway that suits everybody. And the first thing that we do is we advise that if you've got a young person in year 11 or year 12 in England and Wales, or the equivalent in Scotland and Northern Ireland, that you get them signed up and applying to our Insight Week or our Career Launch Work Experience programme. A few days in the summer where they get to learn more about PwC, who we are, what we do, meet some of our people and get involved in some activities as well. Great way to explore the options, get a bit of work experience and then make a decision. And then once your young person is ready to leave school or college, there are so many routes, and as Amanda said, it's very, very daunting, and we're here to help you and help your young person as well. So we offer level 4 apprenticeships, so that's where you finish your A-levels or BTEC or T-levels or equivalent, and you join us straight from school or college. So you wouldn't go to uni, but we would make sure you get a professional qualification to make sure you've got that security for the future. You join straight into one of our teams, maybe into our consulting team or our tax or our operate team. And the apprentices gain hands-on hands-on work experience, have a coach, have a mentor, get involved in everything. Lots of them are treated just like graduates, really, getting real work experience and progressing their careers. And we offer apprenticeships in almost all of our offices around the UK as well. For those of you that, or for those young people that think, well, actually, I do still want to go to university and have that experience, or I want that deeper academic learning, we also offer apprenticeships and degree programmes that give them the best of both worlds. So if your young person's interested in finance and accountancy, brilliant. We've got lots of accounting degree programmes on offer at different universities around the UK. So the young person, the student, would join us, would study accountancy. They would pay their tuition fees, but for those from less privileged backgrounds, we do offer bursaries as well. And then during that degree, there are integrated placements in our audit team. So the students are becoming fully qualified chartered accountants and getting a degree and getting work experience and earning a salary. It's a no-brainer for anyone that wants to fast-track their career in accounting at the top accountancy firm. And then the programme I look after, our technology degree apprenticeships, absolutely amazing programme. You can join us either going straight to uni and coming and working in our tech teams over the summer and on a placement year, or you can join straight into the business working in a tech team and doing block release to college to study for your degrees. We've got two different pathways there, both brilliant, both give the young person a degree in tech. Both programmes have a salary for the full 4 years, even when you're studying, and we pay the tuition fees as well. And what's more, our tech teams love these apprentices and have many of them tipped to be the future leaders of their teams as well. So we've got so many different opportunities, and I'd really encourage you to explore those with young person. Come along to one of our events. Look on our social media, YouTube, Instagram channels, PwC UK Careers. Come and chat to us. We're here to help you and find the best route for your young person. So hopefully there'll be some questions at the end, but I'm excited to hear more about the other programmes too. But before we do that, we're just going to cut to a short video about one of our apprenticeship programmes so you can learn a little bit more.
I was attracted to the technology degree apprenticeship because I knew that I wanted experience as well as a degree, and I loved the fact that I had those guaranteed summer placements and the guaranteed year in industry for my time at university.
Truthfully, I felt like anything but an apprentice over the last couple of years. At university, I've made friends with and had the same experience as any other undergraduate, and at PwC, I'm treated the same as all other members of my team.
Despite the pandemic, I still feel that I was able to have the full university experience as I attended university full-time for the first 2 years of the Flying Start apprenticeship scheme, and I made some really close friendships with the rest of my cohort along the way. I've had a really strong support system during my time at university from PwC, Queen's and the other tech degree apprentices.
My favourite project at PwC has been creating a speech-to-text tool to be used firm-wide, which means that anyone can use it to transcribe their meetings or voice notes. I felt privileged to have been given the role of lead developer on this and learned a lot as a result.
The advice that I'd give somebody applying for the tech degree apprenticeship would be do your research, so make sure that you know who PwC are and what kind of work we do before you go for your interview, and then also just make sure that you're being yourself. We have such a wide range of people here at PwC that you'll definitely fit in.
The 3 words I would use to describe my experience on the Flying Start Technology Degree Apprenticeship programme would be exciting, interesting and engaging.
Transformative, interesting and enjoyable.
Educational, empowering and enjoyable.
Thank you, Catherine. That was really insightful into the different programmes that you offer. And actually, Jarell, who is a degree apprenticeship, joined us on Monday on our Technology Insights Day for the Industry Insights series. So you can actually watch that Technology Day along with all of the others that will be filmed this week on demand on the Your Game Plan platform under the Industry Insights link. But Jarell spoke very passionately, actually, about his hybrid time at university in Birmingham, whilst also studying for his apprenticeship as well. And he really felt like he got the best of both worlds and really made the most of that opportunity. So thank you. I'm going to move on now to Terry, who's the CEO of the Chartered Institution of Water and Environmental Management, or CIWEM, our lovely hosts for this week.
Thank you very much, Amanda. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. So my organisation is what's known as a professional membership organisation, institution. And there are many professional membership institutions that look after most of the career sectors that exist out there. My particular organisation, we work within the water and environment space. So we support the careers of people operating in the very wide range of jobs and careers that are out there to help manage our planet sustainably, in a nutshell. The important thing about our organisation is that we support the growth and the careers of people. And this is right from school age through to university and student and also apprenticeship, and then right the way through your career. And I think we recognise how daunting it is, particularly as a young person at school age and just after school, to make choices about your career. From my own personal experience, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do when I was at school. I had an idea of the sorts of things I was interested in, but I really felt I needed more time to explore that. And so that's where my organisation comes in. We work with young people to help navigate your way through those opportunities. And certainly in the environment space, the opportunities are huge. We are facing some really tricky challenges, and we hear about that all the time in terms of climate change, etc. But the career and job opportunities that creates, therefore, are immense. The other thing to bear in mind is that there's a real shortage of people across all the environment sectors, not just in the UK, but around the world. And so those opportunities are even greater right now. And the employers that we talk to and work with tell us that they're particularly interested in apprenticeship and technician routes to entry because they need people that have those sort of technical skills and those interests. In terms of our organisation, though, we're all about career support and progression. And so you might start your career as an apprentice, but by coming into membership to CIWEM, that will expose you to all sorts of people that are working in all sorts of careers. Opportunity to find mentors, for example, to have conversations with people who have been exactly where you might be right now and are able to share their experiences and support you and mentor you and guide you. And that's a really important feature of what we do. Just being connected, having a network, it's really important for career success. So we offer an apprenticeship grade of membership, which is free of charge. And I'd certainly strongly recommend that if you're interested in the environment sector, that you come and look on our website and talk to us. But equally, if you're interested in other sectors, there will be a professional institution out there for you. Just to conclude and hopefully to sort of leave you with a feeling of the same excitement that I have about the careers that are available in the environment sector, we do a lot of work to influence decision makers and governments about sustainable management of our planet, the really difficult, knotty challenges that we face. And what I find as we do that, and particularly as I interact with young people, is that we absolutely can fix all these challenges that we hear about. As daunting as they might seem, we have the capability and the intellect to do that as a collection of people, as a network. And part of the reason why I'm so buoyant about that is that we run a competition with schools to bring innovation around sustainable management of water to the fore. And this competition is a global competition. So we select the winning school, the team from the winning school in the UK, and that team then goes forward to Stockholm and competes with many other nations from around the world for the grand prize. And it's just the most joyous experience for me. It's one of the highlights of my year, really, that I get to interact with fresh young minds and people that really care about our planet, have real purpose, and get to encourage them to solve some of these problems. So, Amanda, I'll leave it there. I'm sure there's much more we can expand upon later, but that's for me for now.
Thank you, Terry. And I absolutely agree. There is no better time for young people to get involved in a career in environmental and sustainability. And actually, the Water Prize competition is a fantastic way to get a glimpse of what that a career in environmental and sustainability might be like as well. And it's something that you could do with your school or as an individual, but definitely head to the link that we will be sharing as part of the Careers Resources pack with this video, because on that link there's more information about CIWEM, but there's more information about the Water Prize, and there's a great video on there where you can see last year's winner, and you can find out more about the free podcast as well on there, which is great to keep yourself up to date. So I'm going to move on now to Nofi, who is from Lloyds.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for having us. Hi guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name's Nofi and I sit within the Emerging Talent team here at Lloyds Banking Group. And we focus on recruitment, for the emerging talent space. That includes internship, apprentices, graduates, as well as industrial placement students as well. In terms of Lloyds Banking Group, you probably are aware of us, and just to let you know, we are offering financial services, products, services and solutions to clients. And those clients could range from individuals, corporations, and also we offer support to our colleagues as well. And that's really important because you always focus on the branch side of things. But when you look at the head office, it's really important to see them as more of the engine of the bank, and there are opportunities there ranging from audit, finance, etc. So in terms of Lloyds Banking Group, we offer apprenticeships, and we are actually in our 11th year of offering a wide range of opportunities across the bank. And we are probably worth noting, we are a UK firm, and so we have opportunities ranging from London, Manchester, Edinburgh, Bristol, etc. And more information will be found on our website, which I will share, which we'll share a link with you during this course of the video. In terms of the opportunities we have across the apprenticeship space, it ranges from level 2 apprenticeship, which is equivalent to GCSE. So if you are interested, or your young person's interested in pursuing real life work experience, also while earning money as well, which is a great advantage, and offering training and development as well. From GCSEs, we offer those, and we also offer level 2 right through to level 7 apprenticeships, and that is focused on master's degree type apprenticeships. In terms of those apprenticeships, it ranges across the division, and that is from audit, finance, and more technical opportunities as well within the software engineering, data science, business analyst, etc. I think it's really important when you are speaking to your young persons about some of the opportunities that they could potentially pursue outside of the traditional degree, going to universities and doing a degree. And that's what we hone in when we are speaking and when we're offering these opportunities across the piece. With regards to our recruitment process, we offer a 3-stage process for our level 4 right through to level 7 apprenticeships, and a 2-stage process for our level 3 and below. So I would definitely recommend, first of all, visiting our careers website to learn more about the opportunities we have and learn more about the different divisions and business areas. And when you and the young person are ready to apply, you will be asked to complete an online application form and just to understand more about the individual, etc. And then automatically invited to do an online test. That online test is more focused on assessing strengths and mathematical skills as well, because we are looking for you to be at least a certain level to complete our apprenticeships. Once you are successful, the young person successful in that process, we would invite the individual to do an interview. In the world of virtual and in the world of post-COVID, should I say, we are much more flexible and will offer a virtual interview, and that could be through a virtual call on Teams or on the phone, depending on the flexibility of the individual. After that interview, and if you are level 3 and below, hopefully all is well and you receive an offer. And if you are applying for the level 4 and above, you'll be invited to a virtual assessment day. And that virtual assessment day will be assessing more about your strengths and more about what you can offer within the organisation. So it's focused on how you deal with real life situations and those transferable skills hopefully you can bring within the firm. Once that's completed, hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll receive an offer. And it's really important when we are kind of, in that interview process, we offer tailored support depending on the individual. So as long as you and or the young person disclose whether it's additional support or information that's needed or tools, we'll provide that throughout the recruitment process as well. I would like to end it there, but I'm sure there's more questions asked at the later stage. Thank you so much, Amanda.
That's great, Nofi, thank you. And thanks for sharing all the different programmes as well in terms of the level of apprentice. It's really great to already you can see, just from talking with 2 employers, of the different age groups that they take on in apprenticeships. So it's very important to go onto the company websites, find out their early entry points. As I said, so Lloyd's take from GCSE level all the way through. You can do a master's in apprenticeship as well. So thank you very much for that. Another point I wanted to make as well is the websites are great, but go to the Instagram channels. Your young people will be very familiar with Instagram, I'm sure, and most employers are really busy on Instagram actually, and they like to showcase their apprentices and their graduates, and very often you can see short videos of a typical day in the life of the different roles and programs that they have, which is great insights for you and your young person as well. So I'm going to introduce our next speaker now. We have Sarah from Nestlé.
Thank you, Amanda. And again, delighted to be here, like the rest of the panel, talking about apprenticeships. Now, I work at Nestlé. Now, Nestlé is the largest food and beverage company in the world, so I hope you have heard of us. And actually, if you open up your cupboard doors in the kitchen, it's highly likely you have a Nestlé product or 2 within there, because we make some really iconic brands, from the Kit Kat, which is a favourite, to our coffee range as well, with perhaps our Nescafe or Dolce Gusto or Nespresso businesses. Now, we have a huge amount of opportunity for young people. My role at Nestlé is within the human resources team, more specifically learning and development, and I look after academy development, so onboarding and developing all of our early careers programs. So whether people join us on internships, placements, graduate schemes or apprenticeships, I will get involved in their journey, and we support them really, really heavily throughout. Now, what better way to understand more about our apprenticeships than hearing from some of our apprentices? So we are going to play you a short video, and you're going to get a glimpse inside the factory doors and hear from some of our apprentices.
So an engineering apprentice takes over the electrical and mechanical roles in the factory and provides support to the operators for the machines.
That involves going on different college blocks and doing a lot of on-site work, so getting out in all the different departments.
The new standard of the apprenticeship as well means that we still get the opportunity to go have a bit of a student lifestyle and then come back to work and put our skills into play.
When I finish my apprenticeship, I'll be a qualified electrician. I'll be a mechanical engineer as well, so I'll be dual skilled, so I'll be able to do both disciplines. I think getting an apprenticeship, you'll get all the qualifications you want, but you'll get the experience and you'll have a job to go to and you'll be paid to do it.
When I was applying for it, I wouldn't say that I knew exactly what supply chain was. It was kind of, I knew it was the gist of making a product, getting it to the end customer, but the diversity of roles that you actually are in supply chain and are under that bracket, there are so many that you can do, and it's you're not narrowly like in supply chain, like that is 100% it. So my first role was packaging related, so working with marketing. My second role has been in a factory environment, which helps me become more resilient to everything. Bringing in loads of different products, working in a different area. So it was in beverage, which was fantastic. And then coming back to confectionery and working again with stakeholders that are abroad, which has just been fantastic. So I would definitely get someone else to apply for an apprenticeship for sure.
Brilliant. So hopefully you enjoyed that video, a little bit of a glimpse and an introduction to some apprentices currently working with us. And the opportunities they brought to life are real live opportunities we're actually recruiting for right here, right now. So if you've got a young person who's curious and interested in looking into manufacturing, engineering, or supply chain apprenticeships, I really encourage you to visit the Nestlé Academy website, because we want people to join us this year, as well as future programmes and future year groups. So that was a glimpse into some of our schemes, but actually we offer so many different apprenticeships here at Nestlé. So other options are HR, for example. We have finance programs, and also we have some degree apprenticeships where actually you get rotations between sales, marketing, category and supply chain. So particularly if perhaps your young person is not too sure yet where they want to end up, why not join us on a rotational program, get some brilliant experience, try lots of different things, get further learning at the same time as well, and a degree apprenticeship under your belt, and then make the decision. So fantastic opportunities. Like the rest of the panellists, we have a range of apprenticeship types and levels. We take apprentices in from 18, so we are looking for A-levels or A-level equivalents, but there's a variety of different programmes from that level. So some of our programmes might be 18 months to 2 years. Some of them might be 4 or 5 years long. But I'd say what really connects all of our apprenticeships is some really great work experience. So you are joining our business in a real role. If your young person is not with us, then we would need somebody else in that position, because these are some brilliant roles in terms of starting your career and really getting a grounding in the area that you've identified. You're getting a wage from day one, brilliant as well, so see that money grow in your bank account. But what I specifically love about apprenticeships is the learning. So development is a huge part of apprenticeships. We don't expect you to come in and know everything. If you did, you would not be eligible for an apprenticeship in the first place. Investment in learning and development is crucial. And we work with some really great training providers, colleges, universities, to really make sure that you're taught really, really well. And then what's brilliant is you take that learning back into the workplace and you apply it. Each apprenticeship, you're looking at acquiring different knowledge, skills and behaviours, but ultimately you need to put them into practice and develop and show that you can do all of these things weaved into your apprenticeship. Now, again, with apprenticeships, support is incredible. So here at Nestlé, you will have frontline support from your line manager. They will act as a workplace coach for you, but also you will have a buddy helping you into the organisation, as well as obviously peer support and team support from those around you. But also the training provider will provide you with a coach as well. So someone really well versed in the particular apprenticeship that you're doing, again, working with you throughout the duration of your apprenticeship to make sure that you are successful. And we all are very much looking out for you and wanting you to succeed with us. You will have a peer group internally. You'll join as part of a cohort of apprentices from Nestlé. So you will have the benefit of supporting and learning from each other and going off to college or university together to learn. But also the brilliant thing as well is you'll be building an external network. So you'll be meeting other apprentices in other organisations, but all looking for the same ultimate kind of qualification as yourself. Again, brilliant to learn from others and share those experiences together. So if you want to accelerate building critical skills, if you want to join a business and make an impact from day one, we honestly need bright young minds to come and work with us. We want your curiosity, we want your ideas, we want your energy, and we'll really support you to bring all of yourself forward and have a great impact with us. So again, from a career perspective, when your apprenticeship concludes, you've got brilliant opportunities, whether you go on to do a further apprenticeship or whether you've noticed a different opportunity that you're interested for in our business, will really help guide and support you to have a really successful career with us. That's it from me. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was really insightful. Thank you. And thanks for touching on the career progression, because I'm going to dip straight into the topic now. I'm a parent. I speak to other parents, and I'm in the process already of understanding what secondary schools my children are going to go to. And I've attended a few of the talks, and the head teachers giving the talk about what percentage of their students go on to universities, and red brick universities in particular. And I think there lies a little bit of a problem. All of you guys offer fabulous apprenticeship programmes, sponsored degree apprenticeship programmes, and also degree programmes as well. And after talking to many other people in the industry, but also mainly parents, there's still this thought that university is the best route for career progression. So I want to start down the line now to really hear from you of your thoughts on that, because you work both with apprentices and graduates. And so really, what is the difference in a career progression for an apprentice compared to a graduate coming in at PwC?
Thank you, Amanda. Such an interesting question. Lots of parents say apprenticeships are great, but not for my child, and that always frustrates me. But in terms of your question, what is the difference with regards to career progression? Really, there isn't one at PwC. If anything, a lot of our apprentices progress quicker than the graduates because they've got more hands-on, practical, relevant knowledge, skills and behaviours because they've been in the workplace for longer. So on some of our apprenticeship programmes, quicker progression for an apprentice. On some of our apprenticeship programmes, our apprentices, for example, in consulting, will do 2 years on the apprenticeship programme and then they just naturally feed onto the graduate scheme. Again, that is quicker. They've only done 2 years instead of a 3 or 4 year degree, and they're already on the graduate scheme and ahead of a lot of the graduates. Ultimately, it comes down to the individual and their drive and their motivation and owning their career as to how quickly they're going to progress. But there are really no limitations from our perspective when it comes to apprentices and their career progression if they want it. Does that help?
Yeah, that's perfect. And Terry, we're going to tomorrow, actually, on our Environmental and Sustainability Day, we're going to hear from one of your youngest members, Board of Trustees, I think Matthew Jack is. And his route was started as an apprentice as well. So how does the institution support differ for a graduate member compared to an apprentice member?
Thank you. I mean, first of all, really commend listening to Matthew when he speaks, because he has got that first-hand experience, and he's absolutely flying in his career and within our institution. He's a member of our board of trustees. He's also president of our organisation as well, which is an absolute sort of pinnacle role. So he's a really good example, I think, of how the sky remains the limit, however you choose to enter into a career. I think the thing to remember is that we all have different learning styles. We all have different ways in which we are comfortable and thrive best. And so the apprenticeship route provides an alternative to university type education, and it suits certain people, I think. In terms of, does that make any difference to where you can end up? Certainly not. Absolutely not. And if you look at our membership journey, where it can start with students in universities and start with apprentices, as you go through the development of your career, the opportunities to then steer it in any particular direction are the same. However you started out, actually. I absolutely believe that, and you'll see that from Matthew and other examples that we have. So I think it's about making sure you choose something that works for you at any different point. And we all grow and change as time goes on. So that answer doesn't necessarily fix the rest of your career. I think as you go through this kind of discovery of how what interests you and the world around you, you can sort of flex and move throughout your career. So I think the short answer to your question is it's about what works for you at that particular point in your life.
And I think exactly that. Apprenticeships is just a different route into a career, not lesser than an apprenticeship, than a degree route could be, but it's what's right for the individual, and they're tailored towards different learning styles as well. So Nofi, Lloyds Banking Group, how is there a difference between how apprenticeships are onboarded and mentored as opposed to the graduates?
Absolutely no, that's not the case, Amanda. So in terms of our offering, similar to what Amanda was saying, it's just acknowledging that there's different touch points or different ways of joining an organisation. They are graduates and those who are completing an apprenticeship and studying part-time, they are equally on equal playing field, should I say. So in terms of when they go through the recruitment process, screening, just worth noting in terms of the technical capabilities, depending on what level they apply for will determine what kind of test they will be doing and screening. But in terms of onboarding, it will be the same. They are allocated a buddy as well, which is really important, and that support system. And also it's really important to know that our network of graduates and apprentices, they always get together and collaborate on different smaller projects and initiatives as well, because what we don't want to do is silo those the individuals or silo apprentices and graduates into their small groups. And I think it's really important when we are thinking about our apprenticeships, or when your young person's thinking about apprenticeship, about the advantage and the benefits. And it was mentioned earlier on, is that kind of thought process where when you go into university, you are probably attending lectures, schools, completing assignments, and that's about it. In comparison to an apprenticeship, you are actually studying as well as working, and having that experience real life training, understanding, and it has been proven that sometimes actually those individuals completing an apprenticeship excel better and more because they've actually merged into a working environment at an earlier stage. They've learned certain life skills that they would normally not have learned in the classroom as well. And then you're also earning money as well. That's really important. I know from students that are, or individuals that are thinking about wanting to earn at an earlier stage, especially those from potentially a low socioeconomic background, that's a really important factor as well in that decision-making process.
And just to elaborate a little bit on that before I come over to you, Sarah, don't be fooled that an apprenticeship route is the easy option because it's not university. It's absolutely not. Apprenticeship routes are equally as challenging, and some would argue more so because, like you said, Nofi, you've got to study as well as work at the same time. And at the Nestlé Academy then, how does that differ for your graduates and your apprenticeships coming in?
So again, really similar to what a lot of the panellists have said already, we honestly see no difference apart from it's a different route to your joining our organisation, but we value both entry points absolutely equally. And I think for our onboarding, actually, I get involved in leading onboarding for both. And actually, if you compare and contrast, they're exactly the same. So we do some more specific kind of tailored sessions for getting all of our apprentices together so they can really kind of build a network around them. And just from a numbers perspective, we might run something separate for our apprentices, separate for our graduates. But honestly, because we can't always get everyone in the same room at the same time because of different kind of constraints in the business. But we absolutely try and connect, and we have a brilliant kind of onboarding connection day, our Nestlé Festival that we run every year, where we really want to excite people about the opportunities and the pathway ahead and really inspire them for success. And actually that's our apprentices and graduates coming together, which is brilliant. So I just completely agree with the panel that it's the only difference is the programme that you're on has a difference because it's a different function, it's starting from a different point. But actually we're bringing people in because we want people to have brilliant careers with us, and we take people in from any start points from that 18 onwards, and it's that personal choice. I agree with Terry there that actually, you know, depending on an individual's learning style, depending on whether, you know, they have an interest to go and really absorb themselves in a topic at uni before heading to the world of work, or whether actually they're the type of individual that really just wants to dive in but continue to learn and develop, you've almost got something to suit anyone and everyone.
Brilliant, thank you. I want to jump straight into how, as a parent, you can best support your young person in helping them find out more about apprenticeship routes, research different industries, support them in any tests that they might have to go on to do as well. So it's great that there are so many resources out there now. And as we are in National Apprenticeship Week, there's no better time than right now to join lots of virtual things happening pretty much every day, every hour, this whole week. There's a lot going on. But there will be in-person things coming up across the year as well. And actually, the employers here today do have events promoted on their websites as well, where you can get involved. You can quite possibly join with your child on some of those as well, so that you can understand more. But it's really important that your young person feels supported and can use you as a sounding board for their thoughts. So I'm going to go straight back to Sarah now to start the next question in terms of what's your best advice that you can give to parents on how they can support their child in their career decision?
Well, I think joining this video was a great first start. So I would honestly say just listen to your child. You're the one that best understands your young person. You know, really listen to them, really find out and confirm, you know, what those passions and interests are, and explore those alternative routes and pathways. Hopefully through your schools or colleges, you know, events like are happening across this week, different organisation events. There's just honestly so many different options and opportunities out there. I would just say, you know, research together and really use each other as a sounding board to kind of talk through those different opportunities and start to narrow things down slightly and think about what's going to work best for your child. A piece of advice I've got would be really encouraging your individual now to really try and get involved in as many different activities as possible. I appreciate they may well be studying as well, so I don't want to completely overwhelm them. That's very important too. But actually, you know, start to really explore different interests, different passions, because actually these are all amazing learning opportunities and actually will give you something brilliant to talk about when you do identify, you know, what you're looking to apply for, and you're trying to really kind of talk through and put your best foot forward on applications. You're going to have a richness of experiences to share and lots of strengths forming from really getting involved in lots and lots of different things. So I think, you know, don't be afraid of things you don't know. Be open and listen to your young person. Research together and just really encourage your young person to cast the net wide and get involved in lots and lots of different things.
Thank you. And Nofi?
Yes, I definitely echo what you've just said, and I would want to kind of reiterate around, I guess, education. That's really important, and just being aware and making sure that you do your due diligence when it comes to kind of the opportunities that are out there. I know that there's a lot of advertising on graduate schemes, but it's really, really important. And by you attending this event is definitely a starting point. But a lot of organisations are offering insight days, virtual webinars, bite-sized nuggets that are on demand. So may not necessarily be that you are available during those times, but you can maybe listen to pre-recorded content that could help as well as your young person. And I think that's really important before sitting down and saying, okay, this is what I potentially see my young person pursuing with those conversations. I think understanding more about attending those webinars and those insight days will give you an insight into the organisation. But I think the second point is just acknowledging what that young person soft skills are, because I guess it's really more about that as opposed to the hard skills. The employer will offer the training and the development. Is more the soft skills that the organisations are focused on. So if your young person has you notice that they're quite driven and focus on kind of attention to detail, those kind of opportunities may lie into the analytical roles. Whereas if you feel like maybe they're more creative and they want to expand in terms of their day-to-day and etc., they might want to pursue another route. So I think those kind of key skills are really important to hone in and to look at, and then not necessarily be the be-all, the end-all, but just as a starting point in terms of looking at the opportunities available across the organisation.
Great. And I'm just going to tweak the question slightly for the rest of our panel. So we've heard lots already in terms of the different programmes just the three employers here offer. So the whole of Industry Insights is featured around understanding different industries. But although you might be in finance and banking, there are different opportunities. You're in professional services, there are still different opportunities within there. For example, Sarah, you mentioned that somebody could go into HR. So I think it's really important. Research is key. And this is something that I think parents can really support their child on is your child's in academia and their skills for research probably aren't quite honed yet, but supporting them in Google's our best friend, right? So supporting them in searching different industries, understanding different industries, and please do watch the Industry Insight videos as well. By the end of this week, we will be showcasing 10 different industries as a good starting point, but also research the companies as well. So maybe when you've found an interest in an industry that interests you, research that company, because very often they will have different opportunities within that company as well. So, Terry, obviously, CIWEM has lots of members who work at lots of different organisations as well. How can CIWEM support, well, parents to support their young people through the network that you have of different employers?
Well, first of all, I think one of the most impactful things and supportive things a parent can do for their young person is to give them access to people that have trodden the path that their particular young person may well be interested in treading. And so that's where my organisation's network of practitioners at all stages of their career can provide really powerful mentoring of your young person. So I think the membership we offer and others offer provide access to that. And I think as a parent, to facilitate those conversations between your young person and people that have had exactly the same experience, I think is really important and something that we can certainly help with. And if I may, I think I can also just draw from my sort of 30 years or so of experience of voluntary youth work. And so I've had the privilege of sharing time with young people over that period of time in exactly that position, and talk to their parents as well. And it just seems like a massive deal, doesn't it? And my advice would be try not to panic quite so much, because I think you don't have to get it absolutely right and nailed as you're moving from school into career. And that's why apprenticeships are so great. And the employers that I talk to say that they definitely don't want sort of fully formed people coming into their organisations. They want the basic skills, the critical people skills, soft skills, numeracy, etc. But then, once that young person is on board with that organisation, they can start to explore with you exactly what your interests and talents are. So, don't panic would be my advice.
I think that's great advice, actually. And obviously, we've all been working for quite a while now, and it's not like whichever route you do. Me personally, I went to university, but that's because back in my day, there weren't the fantastic apprenticeship routes that there are now. And without a shadow of a doubt, I would have been on a sponsored degree apprenticeship route for sure. But nobody expects you to have it all figured out on leaving school. And actually, it takes the majority of us a good 30 years in industry to actually find what we really, truly love doing. And along the way, that's your journey. You're growing and learning at every single stage. So every role that you go into, you're learning and you're developing, and some might be side steps, others might be great big giant leaps into where you want to finally end up. So, Catherine, have you got anything else to add in terms of advice for parents?
Just a couple of bits and pieces. You've taken all of my advice, so I agree with all the advice. Don't panic was going to be one of mine, and be open-minded. But one thing I've really noticed as well is try to encourage your young person to lead some of this. So if you go with them to an event or a UCAS fair, encourage them to ask the questions. Don't be the one, if you can help it, to ask the questions with them standing there in your shadow. Sometimes maybe that's needed, but a little bit of preparation and helping them think about their questions in advance and giving them that chance to ask the questions, or let them be the one that comes up with a few ideas, a few skills they've got. Try to encourage them to learn and develop from this whole experience as well, without putting too much pressure on them. And the balance that your young person can manage at different times in their life. So that's just a little bit of extra advice I'd give as well.
Thank you. I think the term is helicopter parenting, and it's something I keep telling myself, don't be one of those, just step back. And we can do all the talking and the support with our young people before we get to these events. And then that hopefully will give them that courage and to be able to do it for themselves. But I absolutely agree. Try not to do the talking for your child if you do get invited to come to the events together. Sorry, I can't get my words out. But by all means, do go along if you are invited to go along, because I think it's a great learning curve for you as a parent as well. My last question would be, is there anything that young people can do to help build their CV or their skill set? So I've got it here as gain a new skill. So before applying for an apprenticeship scheme, maybe you're only in year 10 currently and you're thinking, well, I have not got a clue what I'm going to do and I don't need to think about it yet. For those younger ones, is there any advice you'd offer in terms of learning a new skill to set them apart in their application? I'll come to you, Sarah. Yep.
Brilliant, thank you. So yes, absolutely. So what I was saying earlier around really encouraging your young people to get involved in some wider activities, like Nofi mentioned, some of those softer skills can really be developed and great opportunities to shine through. So whether you might enjoy sport and actually you might pursue a new sport or a new hobby, that could be a great demonstration of teamwork, or maybe a great demonstration of resilience sometimes if it doesn't go quite so well out in the courts or the fields. So something like that could well be attuned to your passion or interest. Or how about at school or college, there might be other things that you can get involved in, maybe something to help your confidence in communication or presenting. They would be amazing skills, again, to build. And there might be opportunities at clubs that your school or college offer. Or why not get involved in some community things? Like at Nestlé, we really value volunteering. So actually, there are so many brilliant opportunities out there in your local communities where you can really make a difference, but also learn a new skill at the same time. So why not have a look and see whether there might be anything there that might be of interest to you, or why not join in with some of your friends as well. Now, I just want to say before concluding that actually I'm such a huge fan of apprentices. I'm actually an apprentice myself currently. So they honestly are for anybody, anyone that wants to try and do something different. I concur with not knowing necessarily that endpoint I was trying to get to in my career. I'm a qualified accountant that's now on a learning and development apprenticeship because my passion is now for people in development. But back in the day when I was starting out, that was something completely different. So there honestly is so much opportunity out there for apprenticeships, really great opportunities to, at any point of your career, whether it's early or during, at any stage, to kind of carve out and go down a different pathway. But honestly, the more you can get involved in now that's going to help you really demonstrate some of these skill areas is going to stand you in really good stead for your applications.
Great, and I've got a slightly different question because I know we are out of time. In terms of online tests, so I know you all differ in terms of the different application processes that you offer. Some of them have gaming tests, others have psychometric testing, others have aptitude testing. Is there any way, in your opinion, that you can prepare for these? Can you practice these? Maybe you've got a practice part on your website where the young person can go to find out more. Nofi, I'll ask you that one.
Thanks, Amanda. You literally hit the nail on the head there. We actually offer an assessment hub, and that hub is basically practical tools, resources to prepare yourself or the young person in terms of our recruitment process. So there'll be an opportunity to do some practice and also go through a few materials as well, which is quite good. And I think you mentioned a good point there as well. Sometimes, I guess, Google could be your best friend. Sometimes YouTube as well, and just taking that opportunity to kind of, I guess, research. Obviously, I think it's really important. What we've come across recently is some individuals may post a video about an interview. It's really important to not use it as a Bible, because what you want to use it as is more of an understanding, as opposed to this is how the interview is going to be set in your ways. Because what you tend to find is you're underprepared for some of the questions that come about. It's really important when you're interviewing, or when the young person's interviewing, is bringing their authentic self, and that bit, I think no one can replicate, no one can pretend or and utilize. And when they are interviewing, is just bringing those key strengths out. And I think that will probably answer the question. Yeah.
Perfect. And is anybody else, we've got about a minute left, if you've got anything else that you'd like to add in terms of extra advice for parents?
Can I just say practice is essential. Practice is absolutely essential, and keep it real as well. You might be in a virtual environment on some of these tests, but to practice in front of human being, I think, is really good thing to do, whether it's a family, friend or relation, or come and be a member of CyWEM, and we can provide that for you.
Practice in front of everybody, cats, dogs, everybody.
I just say that the whole thing can feel a little bit daunting, and whilst we've given lots of hopefully really useful advice, it may have left you feeling like, oh, where do I go now? How do I best support my young person with all the different industries and apprenticeship levels out there? So my advice would be to use the careers packs that are being provided as part of this resource. Go along to a few events, etc. But don't forget, the government has a really good website as well where they list out the different apprenticeships that are available, and you can then explore which organisations offer those when you found an area of interest. And also UCAS is starting to advertise more and more apprenticeships as well. So there are a few central points that you can go to, and then you can start to explore individual employers once you've got a feel for the kind of area. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We're all nice people. We're all here because we care about apprenticeships, and we want to support you and your students as well.
Wonderful, thank you. We have had so much brilliant advice and insights actually from you guys, and the different opportunities that your companies and organisations offer and support with young people. I'm going to end it there, and I will end with a video from MI5, MI6 and GCHQ, who obviously can't be here in person on a live panel due to the nature of their opportunities that they offer and the nature of their work, but leave you with some insights in terms of the apprenticeships that they do offer and how your young person can find out more information about their careers in defence and security.
Hi, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us today to find out how you could be an apprentice at MI5, MI6 or GCHQ. It's unusual to hear from 3 different organisations at once, but that's us. We're unusual, a bit different, unexpected. We've got 3 different identities, 3 different remits, but one mission: to keep everyone in the UK and overseas safe. That's where you come in. We need all sorts of people to join us in all sorts of roles. We're not after lots of experience or expertise. We're after your potential, your drive, passion, integrity, perspective, and curiosity. Ready for a meaningful career? We thought so. You're probably wondering, who are we exactly? We're MI5, MI6 and GCHQ, and we all share the same goal: to keep the UK safe. It takes everyone in each agency to help protect everyone in the UK by using our specialist skills and working together to counter threats, prevent danger and protect the country. So, what's the difference between each agency? What is their main focus? MI5 is responsible for the domestic security of the UK. They gather intelligence within the country and help to identify and counter threats to the UK from terrorism, cyber attacks and espionage. MI6 works overseas to make the UK a safer and more prosperous place by staying one step ahead of our adversaries and working with foreign partners, combating international terrorism and weapons proliferation, and to help support global stability. And GCHQ is focused on all things tech and cyber. They pioneer a new kind of security by developing technologies that can access, analyse and disrupt threats to the UK, both in the real world and online. So, why do an apprenticeship with us? You can start work straight away without building up any uni debt. You'll gain qualifications on your apprenticeship. You won't need years of experience in the field to get in. and you don't have to be a certain type of person to work here. We're looking for people who are motivated and willing to learn. And just by watching this presentation, you're showing that interest. A day in the life.
I'm usually up and out by about 7:45, which is a bit later than my housemates. It helps me to avoid the queue for the shower and gives me an extra 5 minutes sleep. These things make all the difference. I stick a podcast on while I'm on the tube or just listen to some music. It's quite nice to have some me time before the day gets started. And once I'm in work, I grab some porridge from our canteen or a bacon sandwich if I feel like a treat. As an apprentice, my week varies between learning days and working days. For me, it's the perfect balance of knowing what's coming up while still having a bit of variety. It keeps things interesting and fresh. On my working days, I shadow different teams and learn all the practical skills I need. I can't say too much about what I do, but I can tell you that I'm working on projects to turn my ideas into tools for the intelligence officers and data analysts here. All apprentices get stuck in. We're valued as much as anyone else. I get to grips with lots of different tech and try to push the boundaries. There's a really big focus on innovation. We get involved with development challenges, and it's exciting to try and do something no one else has. I usually have a quick break and some sort of caffeine hit at around 11 a.m. At this point, the team I'm shadowing check in with me and make sure I'm doing okay. Everyone's so friendly. You really feel like there's no such thing as a silly question. At lunchtime, I sometimes go for a run with the other apprentices. It's nice to have the time to get some fresh air by the river. I'm catching up with some of my induction cohort today and finding out how they're settling in too. It's good to know I'm not the only one finding my feet settling in, especially as we can't talk to our family about what we're working on. After lunch, I brush up on the techniques I've learned and run through all my findings with someone in the team. I normally have a chat with my line manager about how I'm getting on. It's a good chance to think about what I've learned and how I can push myself. And just like that, the day's done. At 5 p.m, a few of us usually head out for an hour or so. There's so much to do around here. Museum lates, crazy golf, secret cinemas, you name it, we've done it. Or we're getting round to it. But more often than not, we end up grabbing some food. Everyone in the team always comes up with a new place to try. So it would be rude not to. It's really strange to think I only finished my A-levels not that long ago. I never imagined that I could go on to do this sort of work. It's so meaningful. You really feel like you're doing some good. And I'm learning the whole time and making such good friends along the way. It's such a win-win.
Apprenticeships we offer and what you need. Now you're probably wondering what apprenticeships we have to offer. Well, we have 4 apprenticeships and you'll work very closely with our whole intelligence community, no matter which agency you join. The first apprenticeship is software engineering, with places available in both central London and Manchester. You'll need 3 A-levels, one of them being in a science, technology, engineering or maths subject, otherwise known as STEM subjects. Also, you'll need GCSEs in English and maths at grade C or 4 or higher. If you don't have GCSEs, we accept equivalent functional skills at level 2 and higher. On this software engineering apprenticeship, you earn a competitive salary for the area you're in and gain a 3-year Bachelor of Science degree, all whilst working on real-world software engineering challenges and applying your skills as you learn. The second apprenticeship we offer is the Cyber Apprenticeship, which is a Level 4 apprentice programme. It runs for 18 months in central London, and to join you'll need a Maths and English GCSE along with 112 UCAS points. You'll have access to state-of-the-art facilities all while you earn your qualification. The third apprenticeship is Infrastructure Engineering, with places available in central London. You'll need 3 A-levels, with at least 2 of them at grade B or higher and 1 of them at grade C or higher. 2 of the A-levels must also be in a STEM subject, and an ITIL foundation would be great, but is not essential. On an infrastructure engineering apprenticeship, again you'd earn a competitive salary for the area and gain a Level 4 apprenticeship qualification. And lastly, we have our Cyber First degree apprenticeship based at GCHQ in Cheltenham. Here, you'll need A-level exam predictions or have attained grades at BBC or higher, or grades equivalent to 112 UCAS points. On the CyberFirst apprenticeship, you'll get a degree qualification and a competitive salary for the area, as well as being able to get stuck into cutting-edge tech that most people have never seen before. Hear from a real apprentice. We asked one of our infrastructure apprentices a few questions about their application process and what their apprenticeship is like, and this is what he said.
I applied for the infrastructure apprenticeship with an open mind and was just willing to learn a bit more in the STEM subject. The applications and vetting process is very thorough because of the nature of the work here, but we're also given newsletters and access to online learning materials in this time, which I really enjoyed. The role is a mixture of college-based learning and working, but I'm earning my salary the whole time. The team I'm in is really supportive and is a real mixture of people from a variety of backgrounds, and I get to work with some world-leading experts. They help you to apply everything you've learned to real-world situations. They help to keep the country safe. Even though I'm an apprentice, I'm always encouraged to put my ideas forward and look at problems in unusual ways. We have to build a portfolio to evidence the work we do, so this new way of thinking really helps me to document everything. There are loads of opportunities for career progression too, and my line manager's been great with getting me lots of training, so that I'm confident when I apply for a promotion next year.
So, what can you expect from us? Well, you'll be met with really friendly people and not just a collaborative, but an inclusive environment. We have lots of clubs across the intelligence agencies, so there's always something to chat about with each other. We have a great work-life balance because the nature of our work means we always try to keep work and home separate. You'll have lots of support to help with your learning, but also in other ways, from flexible working to pairing you up with a buddy and our open approach to mental health. We do our best to look after your well-being. There are plenty of opportunities for progression, including gaining qualifications and applying for roles after your apprenticeship. And your development is formed by a wide range of training to help you with softer skills as well as professional skills related to your role. How to apply? So, now that you've found out about the apprenticeships, how do you apply for them? There are a few steps which check you're able to apply for us and that we're the right fit for you. In the pre-eligibility check, we'll simply ask a few questions and check you meet our requirements. If you do, we'll give you a link to create an account. In your initial application, we'll just take some contact details and let you know the relevant requirements of the role. In the next stage, you'll either take an online test and fill out an application form or go straight to the form, depending on the role. If successful, you'll go through to the assessment stage. Here you'll be asked to either take a test, attend an interview, or an assessment centre which could be online or at one of our recruitment offices. Your final interview or interviews give us a chance to find out about your motivations and for you to ask us any questions. Remember those initial checks we mentioned? This is the stage where that happens. Vetting is thorough, but it's a necessary step we all go through. We know it may seem a daunting process to go through, but we will support you all the way through and keep you updated as you go through the process with an experienced and dedicated vetting officer. And once you've passed the vetting, you're in. When to apply? We usually recruit in the autumn, but keep an eye out throughout the year as more opportunities may pop up. It might be hard to imagine working at an intelligence agency without much experience, but remember, we're asking for people willing to learn and that have an interest in what we do. People just like you. So with that in mind, we just say, be yourself, be honest. Think about why you might want to work for us. Look at our websites to get a little bit more information. Believe in yourself. And any experience you have from school, college, your life, part-time job, and even hobbies can be relevant. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We hope that you found it helpful and we hope to hear from you soon. To find out more information, visit the MI5, MI6 or GCHQ websites. The URLs are on the screen now.